Alright, guys. Just a little bit of Muln DD for the day, since today's going to be a chill day for me. I mean, I got to work on my science some more, but outside of that, I'm just chilling. What I really want to talk about is a couple things. First off, Mullen's price action. It's going to be, I couldn't do you justice. Like, if you're a smart computer guy, you should really go and do this data, and it would look amazing. But if you could create some type of graph that showed a linear progression of our our lows, in historical order. Basically, we've had one or two green days, but outside of that, basically since right about here, somewhere. I mean, you could argue since here, we've only had one green day. But if you look at how the red days went, and it's hard to really tell with these numbers because these aren't the legit numbers. You need the last two decimal points, but this website just rounds them. So unfortunately, when this says 14 cents, it was probably 14 and a half cent, 0.1455, you know. And so you can't really use these numbers. But if you were to take basically when we went up and we hit the 32, then we came all the way down. So this is when we hit the 32. Then we came down and we hit 13, and then we went back to 16. And so these numbers are all a little skewed right here, but you can argue, I guess, from here we've been going down. And so if you checked from July 20th all the way to now, and you looked at every down day, and you looked at how much we went down percentage-wise, you would see that it was larger and then smaller, then smaller, then smaller, then smaller, then smaller. And yesterday we were down 0.88%. And anything can happen intraday because there's never just massive retail buying every second of the day. That's not how retail operates. Retail buys majority of its buying at market open, and then there's people that are always trickling in throughout the time until close. But most people, they know what they want to invest in, and they know it's Mullen, and they wire money to their account, and it becomes available the next day, and they say, let's throw it in the morning. I would say that's your typical wealthy investor. They're not here to see if the Mullen's going to go down 7% today and then throw in $50,000. They're here to see the market open, throw in $50,000, and get back to fucking work. You understand that? Nobody that's buying Mullen is fucking... There's a lot of people that are watching the stock price, but most of them are still working, and most of the ones that are watching the stock price all day long, aren't rich. Less than $10,000 invested, I almost guarantee it. And so, when you look at it that way, and you understand why the mornings always have their big pop of 5 to 10%, and then it crashes down after that, it's because they're trying to dilute retail at the highest price possible without actually initiating a squeeze. So the problem is retail's habitual habit, which was defined in the SEC investigation and the House investigation about GameStop back in 2021, is that the problem that the government has with investments in retail investors is that they like to invest in something that has already massively green. Meaning, when they see something go up 1,000x, whether it's over 10 years or so. I mean, we can talk about Apple, Netflix, Tesla. I don't the stock squeezes are a little bit different, but we can talk about all these stocks that are big stocks and considered safe stocks. And retail loves those stocks too. And it's because retail only likes to buy things that go green. Long term, long trajectory, is it going green all the time? That's what I want to buy. The only time they step away from that is when the wild childs of the pack start saying, you know what, that one looks like a good stock squeeze. And the more you say that and the more you convince other people to buy a stock because it looks like a good stock that is undervalued and should be worth way more, the more they fight you and the more they make you lose your initial investments. And then it becomes a pattern until, back in history, every other stock has had its day of vengeance, is all I'm going to say. Mullen, I guess, could go bankrupt and be the first stock ever to just never have its day of vengeance. But I don't believe that. So, yeah, I mean, what's going to, like, we go down 7% in a day, but then, like, we come back up, and now we're at negative 1%, and we could probably go back to negative 7%, but we could also go up 300% right now. And so what I'm arguing is that there's no real investor in this world that is thinking in the terms of, I think this is a $10 stock, ooh, but let me wait until it's 11 or 10 cents and 0.1090 cents before I buy in. Like, if they don't have any investment and they think this is a $10 stock and it shoots to 15 cents right now, they're throwing in all the money because, like, they couldn't have thrown it in earlier. But, like, if their money clears today and they can buy it at 11 cents, they're buying it at 11 cents. So, there's definitely swing traders. Like, Mullen has been a buy-the-dip stock for a year and a half, and the swing traders show up when the technical analysis is strong that it's eventually about to very soon go up a lot. Because when you know when it's about to go up a lot, it's not very difficult to see the delays that they add to it before that big rip. And so you can see, like, after a rip starts, if they just totally kill the volume, kill the momentum, kill everything, well, then it looks like they tried to fake the squeeze again, and now they're going to bring it back down and try to get some people to sell. And so over the next couple days, these swing traders will start assuming that the mornings are going to have rips, and then it's going to come down, and then it's going to be a little bit volatile all day long, and all this beautiful stuff. And so eventually, the buy the dippers have bought so many shares that the swing traders, when they're buying that they know that we've hit a resistance line and they know it's going to go up, eventually there's only going to be so many shares left that the swing traders are going to start being diluted on. And when the swing traders get diluted on and it starts to squeeze, like I'm telling you, all it takes is 100%, maybe 200% day before people in the world that aren't investing, that maybe have in the past but don't want to mess with it right now, are going to come and say, what the fuck? And they're going to throw in $100,000 and see what happens. And there's going to be probably at least 100,000 of them. Probably more. I don't know. Oh, man, it's going to be beautiful. And so, again, it could happen tomorrow. It could happen today. It could happen fucking 30 days from now. Who fucking cares? Like, as long as you're throwing in $200 every fucking 2 weeks and making sure you always have your $200 investment in, like, you're going to make. And as long as you, like, roll those out and buy stock and do the right things and everything you know what to do, like, or just buy stock and fucking hold for 2 years and never even think about your fucking $200 and throw in $200 every fucking chance you get until it squeezes. Like, you do anything like that, like, all you gotta do is hold for 2 years. Obviously, I think it's going to be less, and I'm going to be swing trading, so, like, it'll be less for me. Like, I'll make 1,000x before anyone else makes 1,000x on their money. That doesn't mean I'm going to make the first billion because other people have a lot more money than me. But if you understand just even the basics of what you want to do and you fucking execute it like you said you were going to, you're going to make $1,000 you can turn into $1 million. I guarantee it. If you can just buy $1,000 worth of stock and you hold it for 2 years, the $1 million cannot not come. Like, it is a scientific fact, it will come. If you just base everything you know about other EV companies, other market caps, where Mullen should be, how Mullen has been treated the last year and a half, how Mullen has more cash than what their current market cap is, how Mullen is producing, but they're not allowed to announce it because the market makers technically own the company and are forcing them into this blackout period of a year and a half that no other company has ever gone through in history. And Mullen's the only one, and they're forcing it on him to make it appear like Mullen's a scam, make it appear like the CEO's a liar, make it appear like this is a hopeless endeavor, all knowing that one day they're going to have to pay. And so, the last thing I want to go over is the best evidence that I can see is something amazing is about to happen. And I don't know exactly when. Is it today? Is it tomorrow? I don't know. But this kind of data gets me real excited. So first off, Muln is top volume yesterday with like 320 million shares traded. Currently we're 160 million and we're probably top 3 at least. And we've been number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, or number 5 every single time for the last 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 days. At least since the reverse, like sometime after the reverse split. But before the reverse split, we were again number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5 for the 90 days before that. And then all the way back in July 2022, there was multiple weeks where we were number 1 volume. And so it's happening again. It hasn't stopped. We're still in number 1 volume territory, and no one's even close to us. We've traded 12 billion shares in the last probably 30 days. And the next closest is probably 3 billion. And here's the biggest thing that I got. So BBIG was just up 30%. Not more than 5 minutes ago, before I started this video, so maybe 10 minutes ago. And if you've been watching the stock on BBIG, it's gone crazy. And there was a decent amount of volume. Like it was like GME, AMC, like type volume, like maybe the average, like AMC is always more volume GME, but if you took like the average of that, that was like what the BBIG volume was kind of looking like during the squeeze moments that it was having over the last 30 days. But now it's been going down 80% in a day, going up 30%, going down 40%, like just every day, absolute insanity. And what I want to show you is Mullen's gone through insanity, but ever since this volume and like this last 30 days, like we haven't had any negative 20% days. Maybe we went negative 20% in a day, but we closed negative 12% type thing. Like we haven't had any bloodbaths. But if you look at BBIG, not only are they having bloodbaths day after day after day, just on repeat, but check this out. Look at the volume. We're halfway through the trading day and there's 23,000 shares traded. At a 34-cent stock, 23,000 shares? That's fucking $8,000. $8,000 American US dollars has been bought or sold out of BBIG today. And it's been down 30% and it's been up 30% today. That is fucking retarded, people. There's no like... It's just trying to show you that BBIG was a scam stock and that there's no retail support here to buy the dip. And if retail is not here buying the dip, and they worked so hard to convince people retail was or BBIG was the retail stock, potentially bigger than Mullen, and now it's fucking dead. But Mullen's volume is fucking glorious, even though our stock price has not been doing nearly what we want it to do. Like, I don't give a fuck about the stock price. Buy the fucking dip.